Warranjika, Kuzazangpo, Kemcho, Salamat Pagi Abakaba, Asante Sana Bawana, Talofa, G'day, how are you? I've just discovered a massive piece of fungus, about 30 to 40 metres up a gum tree. Alright, so that's the tree, this one here. Go past that piece of bark, that black bulge. Above that, it's that, just above it, about a foot above it. I can't zoom in. Anyway, it's about the size of a kettle, about a foot wide maybe, and about, the height is probably a foot wide by maybe a foot wide. Can't zoom in. But it's absolutely massive. So I'm up in Callista, up in the Dandenong Ranges, and it's a very cold, windy day, very blustery. I think there's a tree falling just now even. I'm just going to say I'm very aware of these trees. A lot of them fall down or are blown down or the tops blow off. So I'm just highly aware of that situation. But I'm just going for a walk along this fire access trail for the National Parks and Wildlife Service, and hopefully I'll come across something different. I just showed you that massive piece of fungus up a tree, so I might find something else. So, but after the rain, a lot of this fungus comes out, or mushrooms. So I'm not going to go too deep, too much off the main path. It's cold and don't really want to stay out too long. Let's have a look anyway. Go for a bit of an explore. I came across a kookaburra as well, having a scourer of the ground below. I'll add her in, or him. All right. Now I'll just show you this as well. This is made by children or adults, but this is something typical of what a lot of the stories what I've heard, which have been told to the public. These little stone rock structures, I'll show you it. So these are, obviously these are made by humans, but a lot of the time these structures, these rocks placed on top of each other, are done by Yowies or Sasquatch, Sabe people, Bigfoot people, hairy man. So if you're ever in the wilderness, way out in the wilderness, and you come across something like this, they can be quite large. This is only very small. That's my hand, hang on, I'll zoom out. That's my fist there. So it's only very small, but that's a typical thing of which Yowies build. And you can see in the background as well, there's some sticks made into a hut or a pyramid. That's made by humans, I know that as well, and there's another one further back. But these Sabe people, or Sasquatch or Yowies, make a lot of structures with the natural resources, whether it's the stone buildings, stone structures, or stick structures. So obviously I'm in an environment where, this is just off a walking track, but if you're ever in the deep woods or the deserts or the highlands or the swamps and you come across a similar structure, they are made by these Yowie, Bigfoot, Sasquatch humans, and they are humans. Their DNA has been analysed and they share very similar DNA to us Homo sapiens. But as with humans, we make signs and structures in the bush, signposts, or letting people know where a water source is or where a food source is, or don't enter this area, or there's abundant food, or this is a boundary. So a lot of these, or even just youngsters, children, young Sabe or Sasquatch or Yowie playing games, they'll play with rocks, or they'll play with sticks, and they'll make similar structures. But I believe a lot of structures, whether it's an arch, when I showed you that arch I found in Creswick, the day before I heard the Yowie whooping. They make arches, pyramid structures, horizontal beams, X's, giant X's made with two giant trees. They twist branches, so all sorts, and they've got all sorts of meanings. But if you're ever way off the beaten track camping, and you come across something unusual, which it's not made by the weight of snow pushing down a branch, or it's not made by a human, especially if it's massive trees leaning against each other, for example, or a perfect X or a perfect horizontal beam, or even snap trees, 10, 20, 30 foot up, the trees are all snapped in one location. That's a very good sign of these other humans and their territory. All right, keep on walking. Now it's very important for us humans not to disturb these structures. Don't pull them apart, don't add to them, leave them alone, okay? You're only asking for major trouble, okay? It's like jumping a neighbour's fence and pulling down their veranda, or even jumping their fence full stop. These structures in the bush or in the deserts or the highlands, wherever they are, or as I mentioned before, these stone structures, stones on top of each other. Don't disturb them, okay? They're there for a reason. Even if it's children playing, do not disturb them. You may end up getting yelled at or rocks thrown at you or logs thrown at you. Now it's a good idea to look at footprints as well. Be observant of your environment. I just showed 2 shots of the ground, tyre tracks and a few footprints. Be totally aware of your surroundings. Don't just look forward when you're walking. Look left and right, look up, look down, and do that constantly. And even look behind. Be constantly aware. As I've said in the past, do not wear headphones. Don't listen to music when you're out in the outdoors. Be observant of the outdoors. I would personally avoid wearing sunglasses or even a hat or a cap, because it blocks your view, your overall view. So listen, hear, observe with your eyes, look everywhere, and even smell. Smell different smells. Be aware of your environment, and especially be aware of your sixth sense. Okay, always look around. If you feel that something is behind you, look behind you. If you feel that something is above you, look above you. A lot of the time when people have a sixth sense, a gut instinct, that one of these people, Yowie or Sasquatch or Sabe, Yeti, they're following you. They are shape-shifting hominoids. They have more powers, more sensory factors, i.e., hearing, sight, smell, touch and taste, etc. Humans have only got 5 senses as well as our sixth sense, gut instinct. But these creatures have got a lot more dimensions to them. They shape-shift, they mind speak, and they can actually put fear into people or make people feel joyous and happy or curious. They'll lure people towards them. And obviously if they're shape-shifting or still in the spirit realm, but they're contacting you for some reason, you don't know what it is. It could be a Yowie, it could be a mountain giant, it could be a apple sprite, it could be a goblin, it could be a pixie or a fairy. Okay, it could be a dog man. As I mentioned before, there's all sorts of creatures, not just the typical Bigfoot, which people think of as a half human, half ape, bipedal, between 8 and 12 foot tall, half human creature. There's all sorts of creatures in the wilderness, from the size of a hand to 16 foot tall or even higher. And as I mentioned before, it could be there's prehistoric birds which people have seen. Creatures with dog heads or bird heads or horses' heads, different types of noses or snouts, Okay? So be aware. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to make you aware. Okay? Thank you. So where I'm walking, this is a cool temperate rainforest. And this rainforest here, what we call Callista in southern Victoria, this cool temperate rainforest has been here for at least 60 million years. Now Gondwana is what's referred to as a supercontinent, and Gondwana was part of South America and Antarctica and Asia, various other plates on Earth, and yeah, Gondwana was basically the age of Gondwana land, or the supercontinent, is around about 550 million years old. Okay, you have to put this into perspective nowadays, people. When you're walking in these forests, even though this is a national park or a state forest, I think it's a national park, you know, this has been here as a cool temperate rainforest for 60 million years, and there's only certain paths which we walk along. Okay? Yes, humans have been on Earth for quite a long time, hundreds of thousands of years, but you know, 60 million years, or Gondwana 550 million years. I mean, the Earth is approximately 6,500,000,000 years old. Okay, and when we have pockets of rainforest like this, with only four-wheel drive access tracks and bush paths, there's vast swathes of rainforest which no human has set foot on. You know, fair enough, the ecosystem has changed, you know, like the last ice age was between 10 and 15,000 years ago, and you know, floods come and bushfires and earthquakes and cyclones and all of that, but basically it's untouched land. So I want you to put yourself into some sort of perspective with regards to us humans. Us humans, yes, there are ancestral narratives of other animals and other peoples living in this environment and other environments, whether it's deserts or swamplands or coastlines, cave systems, mountain ranges, you know. We cannot dismiss these other humans at all. It's in our ancestry, and they're still alive today. They've survived for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, these other humans and other human-like beings. Okay, fair enough, they've interbred with various alien species who have come to Earth, including us humans. Our DNA is altered. We are part alien. You can take that or leave it, but we are part alien. That's why we're susceptible to certain diseases. That's why we're susceptible to sunburn. Okay, that's why we have less body hair, and that's why we are not in tune with the environment. We aren't hunter-gatherers anymore. We've learnt from ancient aliens of how to grow crops, how to alter the environment in a more productive way. And a lot of the time nowadays, a totally unproductive way, destroying the natural environment due to greed and power. But just take note, there's chunks, massive chunks of rainforest or desert country, wherever it is on Earth, which is totally untouched. And this is where these other humans live. Sorry about the reflection on my glasses, that's my receiver for the microphone. So tread lightly, people, be aware of your surroundings, don't rubbish or litter, respect the environment and respect the signs, you know, the noises, the smells, the structures, things we see. Observe the other animals and what they're doing. Okay. All right, I'll leave it at that. You have a good day. Take it easy. See ya.